Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of our webinar series called Digital Shipyard Series, A Journey Towards Operational Excellence. And today, it's all about the project control essentials. Unlock real-time insights for your shipyard. This webinar, the session of today, is on the specific perspective, like is on one specific perspective of the project manager, but it's only the first one of the different roles and views across the shipyard that Floorganise supports. And the future sessions will explore other areas to give you a complete picture of operational excellence. My name is Julia. I'm the marketing coordinator here at Floorganise, and I'll be your host for the next 45 minutes. And this session will be divided into a live demo and a Q&A session at the end of the demo. But to start off, let me briefly introduce who we are for those who don't know us yet. We are an IT company with roots in Dutch shipbuilding, but today we proudly serve around 30 between public and private shipyards across Europe and North America. And yes, this means that we like over 30,000 people are using our software every day, and it means in a significant reduction in both duration or shipyard hours. And yes, basically today we're thrilled to have with us the founder of Floorganise, Hertian, who will showcase a live demo of powerful functionalities designed to transform how you manage projects and drive efficiency in your shipyard. You will see um, how Floor2Plan, our software, delivers real-time insights and unlocks a new level of control and performance for your operations. Before, before diving into the demo, let's take a quick look at some of the major challenges project managers in shipyard often face. Among them, we can find quality control and assurance, project timeline project timeline management, stakeholder and client expectations, cost control and budget management, documentation and reporting, for example. So Hertian today will help you understand how to tackle these challenges by diving into the different modules of Floor2Plan and showing you how they can transform your project control processes. So after the demo, then we'll wrap up with a Q&A session. So feel free to leave your question in the chat on the right-hand side as we go, and then we will make sure to address all your questions at the end of the session. So let's get started with the demo. Over to you, Hertian. Yeah. Yes, now.
Thank you, Julia, for that introduction, and welcome everybody on this today's session. As mentioned, we're gonna dive into the project control essentials. I'm gonna give an introduction into Floor2Plan from the perspective as a project manager. We're not going into very deep details. This is the first session, so we're gonna keep it on an introduction level. We're going to show which modules and functionalities are designed with the use of project management in mind and how to accommodate how this accommodates the challenges that Julia introduced. So the topics we're going to touch today is the preparations during the start of the project, knowing if everything is in there. Did we have all the work packages in place? Is the preconditions, are they all met? And during the execution of the project, we want to monitor the progress, get early warnings regarding risks or delays on overruns, and reporting takes place during both preparation, execution, and after the project. There's a variety of feedback needs, both internally and to the client, and we'll touch a lot of those topics during this presentation. Quick a background on the approach we take if we look at shipyard processes. Um, this pyramid shows the challenges between the project management, the shop floor, the process-oriented shop floor with the departments and continuous delivery, and on the project level and for the project management and the client perspective. To align those together, there are multiple touch points where we have to roll up the information and connect the information from those workflow to the office, so to say. Therefore, we created Floorplan. Floorplan is a shipyard for operation, communication, collaboration, and control software where we have all these different topics met. The result is one system in front of the production folks to give the ability to monitor and steer also by the project manager. System that ties into other systems to complement the data needs for work packs or project controls, or even ties into machines. So it's not a standalone, it's integrated in a wider variety of systems. But this is the stop, single stop for the production floor, and also the main source for project management to retrieve all the data that is in the system. If we look at what Julia already mentioned, there is a variety of modules in our systems, also evolving around a number of topics we touch. Today we touched the topic of the project and cost control, and particularly the vision of the project management on that topic. So I'm going to demonstrate it. I'm going to briefly touch those topics before I open up the demonstration. First, I'm going to touch the preparation of the project. So how is the project set up? What are the work packages? What are the budgets, the schedules? And where are the resources? So to be able to show that, I'll have to switch my screen quickly to another screen. Is this showing? I don't think this is showing.
Okay.
Yes, now it's showing. So this is the Floorplan login page. I'm now going to log in as a project manager. As mentioned, there are different roles. Different roles will see different modules available for their particular needs. If we open up Floorplan, we see the different modules as different tiles over here. We're going to start with the project modules to see how the project is set up and what it contains. If you open up the project, we prepared the demo scenario project. The demo scenario project has a breakdown of the deliverables, and if all those deliverables are met, then the project as a whole is executed. If we're going to look at how those deliverables look like, in this case it is a ship with multiple blocks and multiple compartments, various systems. It's a very simple example of how a ship can look. If we dive into one of those deliverables, for example, this block, we can see, okay, this block has multiple activities. These activities have different levels and a different breakdown. And if we look into the details of that breakdown, we see that an activity has resources on it, that it can be different departments and or different discipline or trades with their own budgets on that. We can also have materials on this block. So a block can also have materials needed for to be created, and they can also be added to this. So often a project manager, a project planner, or a centralized planner does this preparation, sometimes fed in from a 3D model, but this is then the end result. So for a project manager, this is the level of detail he probably is not going to look into. But overall, if we're going to look overall to the project, it's good to understand where the numbers come from. Because if we switch to the calculation tab over here, we're going to see an overview of the different discipline or trades, their tariffs, how much hours there was pre-calculated. That's the commercial budget, we call it, and then the operational budget. And you will see that the operational budget will continue during the project. It will be added if we have more detail on the designs and on the deliverables that are added. So this is how the budget is built up on the man hours. If you're going to look at the materials, we see the same logic on the materials over here. So we have an overview of the budget for this project and how this is calculated, the budget. If we want to change that, we have various options to change that for a particular project. We can change the budget for the hour rate for this particular project, but also for a specific discipline. We could say, okay, for the welders, we can have a different tariff for this welding. We can have a different tariff for a specific discipline in here. So that's all possible to tailor the project and to tailor the setup of the project. So this then rolls up to the calculation. So then we know that the budget is in place. If we now want to know where the activities are in time, we can go to the Gantt chart and go see the project as it is planned. If we're going to look at this, I used a pre-filter for this one, the project management pre-filter, so that shows me what I want to see as a project manager. What we see here is that we don't want to see too much into details. If we see a problem arising, we can dig into the detail later on. I'll show that later in the process. We want to see from a high over, we want to see this project. So I switched on level 1, 2, and 3. That are our top 3 levels on the planning methodology, and I want to see the baselines because we created a baseline prior to this project. We see that we already shifted in time, so the small bars below is the original baseline, and we see that all the things are a little bit deviated in time during the process. On top, we see the major milestones, so the start of the project, but also different material delivery, so we can filter out when a certain material delivery should take place, so that we can also connect to the purchasing process and say what the need dates are for our material deliveries. Well, this shows it in time, the timelines and the major milestones. So a project manager can consult the customer on this topic and say, okay, is this in the right time and the right moment for this project? If for one reason we are doubting one of the details, for let's say example, we doubt the construction of block T12, we can look into more detail. So we're going to select out a particular item in here. We want to see more detail, so I'm switching on an extra level of detail, and it shows me the details of that particular block. We can show the dependencies on this, so we can see how this is all planned out. So now we know how it's planned in time. We see what kind of resources are needed in time. We might want to know if there is place on our shipyard to execute this work. So we'll switch over to again a preset planning, and I'm going to open up my doc planning, and my doc planning shows me different locations on the shipyard. So if I have some dry docks, it shows me which projects are taking place on a certain location, and I can see that there are two overlapping items over here. That can be a problem, but if my dry dock is big enough, I can also fit in multiple projects often. So we have to decide if this is a problem, assess it, and come up with a conclusion how to mitigate this risk. Again, this is for a project manager to evaluate: is there a risk that I'm going to get pushed back due to another project, or lack of space to execute a project, or resource availability. So now I validated the timely planning and schedule of my project. I'm now going to switch over to my resource needs for this particular project. Therefore, I go to the capacity dashboard. The capacity dashboard shows the different needs of people during a longer time, and the availability of the employees for these during this time frame. I now switch on the whole shipyard as a total. I'm gonna filter out my project, my demo scenario project, and I'm gonna switch off some items because they are not interested in right now for this question. So I see that that this is roughly the breakdown of where I need various people. I can dive into this more detailed. I can ask myself, okay, on the engineering part, where do I need the engineering? Now, we see that in the start of the project, I need engineering, and of course also during a serious amount of time during the project, there's also some engineering capabilities needed. If I'm going to compare that to, for example, production, then I see that the production is taking place later. Apparently, there's some prefabrication already early in the phase, but this is how my project is planned right now. So now I understand how my project is built up, how my project is planned, and how my project is what kind of resources I need for this project. I can get an overview which I can export to send to a customer. For example, my estimate per project. I'll see again that I have this project. I now grouped it by man hours and material, and I can see how is my project calculation build up. And this is a report I can export to Excel or to a PDF and use it for import to send a quotation to a customer to get overview on the cost build-up of a project. So this is the part where we prepare the project. If we now switch over to, I'll quickly send in the. So once the project is started, we kind of look more into the capabilities of how do we see the progress that is made, how do we see the actuals that are filled in by the people, look at the S-curve and the earned value, and look at various dashboards on getting information on the state of the project. For this, I'm gonna log in as a engineering department, because my project is now mostly in an engineering state. So for now, engineering is working on this particular project. If I'm gonna look how a department head or a supervisor is looking at this project, is going to look in which are his employees and how the employees are assigned to the various items. You can see how if he allocated enough people to the jobs and can progress on those items. I'm first gonna show how a worker either from engineering or from production is able to put in progress and hours in the system. And this is a standard view for workers to update their hours on a project and or progress. So I'm going to select my demo scenario project. I see that I have 2 jobs where I'm allocated to, and I see, okay, this item I've been working on, so let's put in 4 hours on this item. We see, and this is a configurational setting. We see that automatically the progress is updated in this case, and that we added some hours to it, and the remaining hours is also adjusted on this one. So I now have a budget of 10 hours with 4 hours worked and 6 hours remain. So as if at the end of the week all your people put in their hours in the system, the supervisor goes to the progress screen on the floorboard, and he can see from his department which hours are booked in the system and what is the predicted progress at this moment in time. If the foreman thinks that's unrightful assessment, so in this case he thinks, okay, we need maybe 60 hours to go for this project, then he can change it over here. If he assesses that a certain job is already done, he can also update it in here and save this in total. Also can adjust the planned finish date. This is all to show how the progress is collected in the system and how a project manager later on can assess that progress and validate whether it's the project is on time and on budget. So now I switch back as a project manager. So as a project manager, I regularly check my project in Floor to Plan. Again, I've got my project management overview, and here I see that the progress that is made rolls up to the higher levels. And so I've got a roll up of basic or detail activities that roll up to the higher activities of that I see in my project management overview. I can also see where it's lacking or where the start or finish dates are not matching. One thing that I want to point out here is that we see an approve button here and it's red. It means that something is not matching what we originally planned. So if I open this up, we see that the start and end date, if I roll it up, are different than the original start and end date. And if I would choose to approve that one, this is also automatically updated in the planning. So now I see that I moved some of the work onto another place and time. So this is where a project manager can have control over the project, make sure that not the changes are made too quickly, and check where the risks are in the project. This Gantt chart has a lot of capabilities. I'm going to show a couple of them because they might be very interesting to use. I'm going to switch up the baselines because that's giving a lot of information, and I want to show some other items that are might also be very interesting. One of the functions that is often used is the overrun functionality. The overrun functionality shows where there is a predicted overrun in the way we are working right now. So if this is the current state and this is the current progress, we'll probably have an overrun of this type. This means that this activity needs to be evaluated if this is still the place we want to have it or that we want to change it in time, and whatever consequences that has with the rest of the project. So that's a very important one to go over. We can also show things like a critical path that highlights which items are critical. We can also show the free floats. Well, the items that are not on the critical path, they have a float. They can have float of themselves, but they can also have a shared float where it dribbles down to other activities to have some float. Both items are shown here. Both items can be assessed. Also, some possibilities to visualize various items on one line item. So if I do the roll-up functionality and I would collapse my construction, I can see on one line where different activities take place. So these are all kind of capabilities, and there's more to it than I just show right now. But they're to be able to manage the project and to assess the differences. Often what we see is in production location that we have dedicated production planners which do the rescheduling or the planning for the project managers. Sometimes we see that the project manager does a lot of the planning and scheduling himself. So you can imagine that there is this variety of functionalities is available for the project manager. Sometimes they will only use it to assess where the risks are, and sometimes they will actively manage their project. This is for so far the scheduling part. If we now gonna look into the report, we have different reports for which are orientated on the execution of the project. The first one to lay out is the S-curve dashboard. I'm going to switch on off some lines to gradually build up the story on this one. So the budgeted hours is the cumulative hours over time. Most of the shipbuilding customers we have, they are acquainted with the concept of the S-curves. But to briefly state, this is the in the end is always the total budget of hours, and it's cumulative showing. So we have also the baseline in here, which shows where it was originally, how it was originally planned, this project, and it sees that we have a shift in time during this project already, and it's briefly a month delay in time. We can see where the hours worked are. They are following more or less the original budget and the earned value, and that's also more or less the same. The forecast is a little bit higher, so there's apparently we are negative on some remaining hours that we want that we need for this project, and it shows a small deviation at the end of the project. We can drill this down. We can drill this down per department, so we can say, okay, well, we want everything from engineering, for example, and if we summarize everything underneath, then we see all the engineering hours, and again we see here that we have the earned value. It's a little bit lower than the budget, so we're a little bit behind schedule. The hours worked are a little bit higher, so we are already overspending the hours on this project, and the forecast tells me where it will end in the end of the project. So this gives me a possibility to look into the future of the project. I can even compare different elements in the project. So if I would say I take this drawing and another drawing, and I want to see, okay, how are they compared to each other? How are they executed? I can see that over here and can compare those two. So that's the S curves. I can see similar data in the capacity dashboards now, where we said that we here we see the other projects as well, but I'm going to filter out only my project, and I'm going to plot here the work done. So these are my actual hours and my earned value, so my progress, and I can see where I over or underperformed during which week in time, with the same capabilities to filter out and to create a stored filter to quickly dive into this the next time. I've got some other reporting capabilities over here. One I want to point out is my project KPIs. My project KPIs has a standard list of numbers to start with. This is a brief overview on the performance on my project. I can here see my SPI and my CPIs, also my budget and my remaining and my estimates, to quickly see if my project is how my project is doing. If I want to see more details, I can click on it, and then it opens up a tailor-made dashboard. This is just an example on what can be the situation. This can show more details on the SPI or CPI. It can show more details on the budget and the progress, and for example, an S-curve. But we tailor this per need per customer. We have an integrated BI reporting tool, which we can use to create dashboards like these per customer. You can also see a pre-post calculation per report, and it shows me for a project based on different different views where the hours went, and in this case I'll switch to discipline, for example. I can filter out per discipline. I can see that my detail engineering, I had a pre-calculation of 5,000. I budgeted for production for execution 7,545. If I look at my actual hours and my remaining hours, my estimated completion will be a little bit higher, so my result will be a little bit negative. And this can give me a quick overview on where are my deviations towards my original project plan B. So the project manager can use this one to dive into the details of this spending. You can expand this one to go in which particular activity did cost more time than expected, and that's how we can manage get grip of the control and look into how this goes. If we're gonna switch a little bit more to projects like repair projects, for example, if we take this demo repair extended, here we can also see how the budget is used and what kind of cost is tied to that one. We use this a lot for repair yards where the invoicing is a very time-consuming process, and here we can already pull off the data in a very early process. So this is so now we saw how the project can be prepared, how the project can be monitored during execution. My last topic is about reporting to customers, and I'm gonna also, due to the time, I'm gonna quickly show some items on that one. I'm gonna again use this overview. Uh, in this Gantt chart, we have various capabilities to export to different types. We sometimes hear from customers that they want to stick to Primavera due to the customer regulations. Well, we can export or connect to a Primavera server, but also just export Excel file or export to an MS Project file to enable that needs. Another possibility is that we enable the system to give access for a specific role that will be a customer. So if I log in this case, as a client representative, and I go to my detailed planning over here, I see my projects that are running at this shipyard. I cannot do anything with it. I can just look at it. I cannot change it. It's just an information, but it is real-time information. So a customer can have real-time insight in the data that is pre-selected to share with this customer. So the customer cannot see all the data, but can see particularly this specific data. So so we saw how we set up a project, how we get the data in there, how we validate the data, how we monitor the data during the project, and how we can report based on that. As mentioned, this is a brief introduction. There's a lot more to say about it, but also due to the time, I think we have to switch over to the Q&A session. I'll give it back to you.
Okay, sorry. Wait, can you hear me now? Now can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Now I have a thank you for the demo. Sorry, thank you for the demo, Hetien. And I wanted to say, like, to take advantage of these 5 minutes left to go through a few questions that we received. Like one for you, it's do you do automatic scheduling based on constraints?
The quick answer is no. There is some capabilities of automatic planning, but often we see that there is such a variety on possibilities to solve a problem, either to outsource work by temp labor or completely outsource work to a different location, or to shift the projects in time. So due to the various the various possibilities to solve a scheduling problem, we give insight in that. We help also with some AI tools to point out where the risks are, but we do not change it automatically. There are some capabilities of that, but again, that's then going too much into detail.
Okay, I have another more generic question, like how quickly can we implement floor to plan in a shipyard?
So our normal process of implementing a floor to plan, and then we take one of the topics. We do not take the full suite, but for example, if we look at this of project control, if we take that into account, we have a 3 months time where we set up the prototype, where we validate that prototype with the key users, and then we have a 3-month pilot period where we where we're gonna use real-time production processes to validate the prototype as it is. And often in the second 3 months periods, we already start implementing it throughout the shipyard. So for a topic like either time and attendance or project control, I would say 6 months.
Okay. And okay, last one is how does Floor to Plan support collaboration between departments?
Yeah, so it gives insight in the connections between the departments. So a department can see where they are depending on another department or where the other department is depending on them. And it also shows in various locations where the predecessor is where we are relying on a predecessor to be able to do the work. I'm quickly gonna show some items here. So here we can see that a predecessor is ready. So my another department is ready, and apparently here my predecessor is not ready. And in this case, it's the same department, but you could also imagine that's a different department. And this is on various locations. You can see this coming back. So if we go into the detail of this particular item, we can also see who's next up. So if we are delaying, if we have a problem in our timelines, we can see, okay, this next department is relying on us to be in time. This is 100%, so this won't be the problem. But in this case, for example, that could mean a delay. So yeah, there's quite some possibilities to exchange data between those various departments.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Hertian. This session is coming to an end. One last thing before we close, because I received several questions asking if there will be a recording of this webinar. And yes, tomorrow you will receive an email with access to the recording. And then for anyone that asked, that requested materials like a copy of the slide, we will get in touch soon. And yes, for any other doubts, questions, feel free to contact us at info@floorganise.com. Let me see, I will share the email. And thank you, Hertian. Thank you, all of you, for joining us today. Stay tuned for our upcoming webinars of this series, of the Digital Shipyard series, and we're looking forward to seeing you again soon to be continued to the next webinar. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.